Coaches, welcome to the Coach Gibbs Defensive Lab. This is Coach PJ Gibbs, the defensive coordinator at FBA in Naples. Today, I'm going to be walking you through, guys, our blue coverage, which is our trap coverage, which I think if you are a high school football coach, this is a coverage that you definitely need to invest in. Started running it in around 2019, in the Naples area, and then got into the International Bowl in 2020 and ran it with the Japanese team. And it's always been part of the package that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through kind of like the responsibilities. It's going to be a shorter course, probably between 10 and 20 minutes, but you guys will have my contact information at the end, and would really like you to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then I'll have some podcasts out also, and they'll be available on Spotify as well. So here we have blue coverage. This is against a 10 personnel set. This is 2x2, and I'll go through the base rules out of our 3 down. And we do this out of 3 down. We do this out of 4 down. We'll do this out of our penny front, which is our 5-1, because we do run a lot of simulated pressures. And if any of you guys are unsure what that means, it's the picture that you present, right? So like here right now, you look at this picture, there's 3, all right, but we could rush, 4, we could rush 5, or we could show 5 and rush 3. So just kind of give you a little insight to that. I'm sure most of you guys know what that is, but just in case you don't, figure I'd give you a little bit of information. So here's the base rules for us now. So here's the thing is we start everything in press 2 high coverage. And I'll take you through the progression of the corners, then the cut players, and then the safety. So corners are going to be pressed 2 high, so you guys can see the corners here. We do play field and boundary, so you see field corner, boundary corner. So as the ball is snapped, you can see the dots here. We're going to undercut 1 with sight on 2. So really what we're doing is we're looking for a bubble. We're looking for an out route, a flat right now. So if we get a slant flat combination, if they want to throw the slant, they got to throw it through the corner. So we're not going to jump the out until we see ball thrown. And that's what it means by they have sight on 2. All right. And then, the one thing I will tell you with this coverage is that your corners have to be ready to fit the perimeter run game. One of the reasons I really, really like this coverage is that they fit the perimeter run game well. You get an extra hat in the box. And some of the film clips you'll see both runs and passes where we do fit well. Some we don't fit so well, but at least we're there to show up to force the defender to cut back inside to our interior players, whether that be a linebacker, our Viper, or any of the defensive linemen. So that's kind of the progression with the corners is we're going to undercut 1. We're going to sink till 2 comes out with sight on 2. And again, we're not going to break till the ball's thrown. And then again, any perimeter run game, we're going to fit, taking everything out with their inside shoulder. If we do get that sail route, the streak out, we're going to stay with 1, really, make them throw it over 1 until 2 breaks out and we see the ball thrown. So that key coaching point there is that sight term that we use. Now, our cut players. Now, depending on who's blitzing, we're very rarely, you guys see this picture that we're only going to rush 3. Now, this could be like, 3rd and a mile. All right. So our cut players mean that you are the cut of number 2 or the cut of number 3. Now, obviously, number 3 in this picture is in the backfield. Okay. So cut meaning up and in. So any vertical route or in, we are going to take that receiver, number 2 receiver. So we count number 1, we count number 2. Okay. Now, obviously, number 3 is in the backfield. We count number 1, we count number 2. So now if we got 2 vertical, all right, the corner is going to undercut 1 and sink with sight on 2. The Viper here is going to, now again, coaching point I want to make is it's completely different than playing a Tampa hook curl defender. We don't want to be aggressive. We don't want to go get this guy, because if we miss and he gets underneath, he's going to be open up the seam. So we want to kind of almost, and this is where I kind of use the terminology, we almost want to play like basketball type defense. And in a sense where we want to stay on the inside hip because, again, if he does push vertical and then try to come back underneath, we're in good position to zone turn and not lose eyes on the receiver. All right. So, again, he is vertical and in on 2. All right. Same thing with the rover here. The rover is cut to 2. He's vertical or in on 2. Now, if we were to send one of these outside guys, the next guy closest would be that cut player. So let's say, for example, we're going to send a 4-man rush here and the Viper is going to go off the edge. Okay, so now the Mike now on pass would be cut to number 2. He'd have number 2 up and in. Now, again, we don't like to put our Mike in that position because he generally can't run with 2 down the field vertical, but you're hoping that the pressure is going to get there. Same thing here. If we sent the rover off the edge, the jack would be cut to 2. All right. Now the safeties are going to be inside leverage on number 2 on the hash. Okay. Even if the ball's FIB, we want them on the hash. Formation of the boundary, we want them on the hash. All right. They're going to stay square and weave with eyes on number 1. Okay. We don't want them to just turn their back and weave. We want their eyes to go to number 1. Okay. So we have the undercut of 1, sight on 2. The Viper here, he has number 2 vertical or in. This field safety is weaving with eyes on 1. Same thing for the boundary side, undercutting 1, sight on 2. He's got 2 vertical or in, the rover does, and then the safety is weaving over 1 with eyes on 1. So that's if you're not going to send any pressure to a 2x2 set, you keep your box intact. And again, now, if you're sending guys, okay, those guys nearest to them would be the replaced cut players. Now you may say, hey, coach, what if they line up in trips? Okay. Well, it depends on what you call. We're going to show you a clip here in a second. You'll see what happens when trips. We have a couple different coverages. We'll play a blue stick. We'll play our Apache check. But if we got motioned to trips and we want to stay in our get into our stack look, the Mike would now have cut to 3, and we'd be just trapping the single receiver side. Same thing here. If we got motion to trips to the rover's cut to 2. The jack would be cut to 3, and everybody would bump. And again, we'd be trapped to the single receiver side. Again, it's a phenomenal coverage, I think, in high school football. I think that when you do your installation, you definitely have to have some sort of trap coverage. One other technique I'll tell you about with the corner that we're going to probably experiment with a little bit this year is a squat technique. And what I mean by that is, because we start everything pressed too high, when we get to our cover 3 stuff, our green coverage, we're going to press bail and get to the 3rd. If we want to play trap, this trap coverage with a squat corner, I want them to bail. I don't want them to shuffle eyes 2. I want them to bail with eyes on 2 to give that quarterback a sense that, hey, if I get a quick out route or a flat route, I want to throw that right now. That corner is still sight on 2 with that squat technique, and he could drive it. So everybody's jobs remains the same. It's just that the corner is going to play a different type of technique. All right, so that kind of covers our bases with just the base blue stuff. I'll show you guys some base blue stuff. I'll show you end of the half blue stuff, and then I'll show you a couple different pressures where it worked really well for us so you guys can kind of see all the techniques. Okay, so here right off the bat, okay, 3x1 check. All right, so let's pause it and look. All right, so here's our trap corner. We played stick here. Okay, so anything vertical, all right, basically he was playing number 2. And then the Mike would play. He was a cut to 3 player. We're trapping the boundary. I don't like our safeties alignment here pre-snap. Both these guys should be on the hash. But you're going to see the ability of the corners to take away the short throwing routes and also to add to the run fit. Okay, you see that boundary corner there. We'll go back to the pre-snap. You can see the boundary corner here. He's going to turn. See that tackle block out, and you can see him show up. Okay, we have the field side end making the play, but at least he's there to show up in that run fit. Okay, now 3x1 to the field. Okay, we're trapping both sides. Okay, so here's your trap corner. Here's your cut to 2 player. Here's your cut to 3 player. Here's your trap side into the boundary. Mike gets out there. Okay, we don't like him chasing. Okay, we don't like him chasing there. Let him go. Let him go to the nickel, to the Viper, and then you can settle up here. Here, if they want to throw the boundary, you can see we get some pressure here. The corner's taking away the quick throw. Here's a safety over the top. We want his eyes to 1, not on the quarterback. All right, but here we get a nice pressure. Now that trap corner, go ahead and he scoops and scores. Okay, bring that back one more time, pre-snap. Okay, right here, pressure, make him step up. trap corner taking away the outlet throw. Okay, trap corner taking away the quick here, safety over top of 1. Okay, so we're 4 over 3. You guys can see the numbers here, and we're 2 over 1. We have our jack backer here. He's kind of spying up. Okay, and we get a good pass rush. 7 redirects there. The end punches the ball out, and our trap corner scoops it up, and he scores. It's always good when you can score on defense. Okay, next clip. Okay, here's a flex set. Okay, we're trapping both sides. Okay, so now you're condensed. Okay, so your cut players are now in the box. All right, but we're taking everything quick away to the boundary. We're taking anything quick away to the field. I like the safety again to be FIB. The formation of the boundary is balanced, but I'd like him to be, on the hash. All right, we got all this stuff taken care of with the sideline and with the corner trapping. Okay, now we see that extra perimeter run fit I was talking about. Right here comes 3 in here. 7 runs it down, and he comes in to clean it up. Okay, we go back to the beginning here. Okay, just watch 3 here. Does a good job of identifying run pass. And then he fits in there to clean it up. You can't ask anything more of that of your DB, of your corner there. Great job. Great fit. Great job. Okay, now we saw some runs. We saw some passes. Okay, here's 3-by-1. Now here's a great example of when you do it right, the receiver's not going to block you and you make a big play. Bubble screen, boom. Okay, I know I posted this a bunch of times on my social media, but I think it's a great job of the read and reaction. He sees the flat threatened with the bubble and sees the ball in the air, and he breaks right away, and the receiver doesn't even see him coming. Kind of see him slow step in there. We'll go back real quick. Kind of see him slow step in there, walking into it, and then sees ball released, and then he gets on his horse full speed, 1-2, ball release, bang. Great job, guys. We're excited. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. All right, now here's playoffs. Here's our playoff game. Here's an example of a good fit, just not a good finish to the field here. We're trapping both sides. Okay, again, safety. I want his alignment on the hash. Okay, our boundary safety, our field safety is okay. All right. 21 does a great job here, undercutting for the run fit. Just takes a bang angle, misses the tackle, but he ends up helping our guys make the play. We obviously want him to make the play, right? But he ends up going ahead and making the play. But you coaches can see how this can just help you just take out a lot of the perimeter run game stuff, especially because it's something that not a lot of teams prepare for, because a lot of teams are quarters teams, a lot of teams are listen, and if you guys run that, like, cool, like, that's fine, like, do what your kids can do well. I find that our guys, we have the guys that can run it. The field corner's got to be able to tackle. The boundary corner's got to be a little tougher, be able to like contact. So those are the kids you want to look for. And again, but this is to me, this is something that should be in every high school playbook. Okay, and I talked about the corners. Now this is a good play by the safeties here. All right, so here let's go pre-snap. All right, we're checking trap. Okay, here's our Viper. Obviously, he's cut the 2. He's cut the 2. We're trapping. Again, get on the hash, right? Do your job. Get on the hash. Okay, you see how he kind of plays that basketball technique? I'd like him to not be in this position where he's trailing. I like him to be inside leverage here. Here's our trap corner. There's our safety getting over top. Safety getting over top, and here's our trap corner. And you go back, interception, get the offensive ball on the 20. Okay, gets over top of one, stays over top. Okay, because he doesn't break down and keeps gaining depth. All right, we give our offense the ball on the 20-yard line, home in the playoffs. All right, end of the half. Here we go. Okay, obviously depth we're going to play off. Okay, it's end of the half. I think there was I look down here, I think there might be 6 or 8 seconds left. Okay, but watch the paces of the field corner here. I think that hesitation and then the really good form tackle. Okay, I think the hesitation there caused the quarterback. See how he's going to walk into it again, right? Okay, he kind of stops there, and that makes the quarterback throw the little check down route, and we go into the half with a big hit. Okay, kids are excited. It's a great thing to see. All right, now let's talk about some pressure. All right, so this is our Panther pressure. Now, the one thing I do, and I'm going to talk about this in another course that's going to come out. I think I'm releasing it in a week or so about a bunch of different blitzes. But the Panther pressure, I really like it because it could be a Panther pressure because you're going to send from the passing strength, or it's Bama, you can send it to the back. Either way, it's blue coverage. It's trap coverage no matter what. Okay, so here it's Panther. We have a right-handed quarterback, balanced formation. Okay, so the pressure is going to come here. We have a wide end. Okay, so we're going to make this tackle decide who's going to get to the quarterback. So if he steps wide, all right, and this guard steps down on 55, 7's going to run free. If the tackle steps down, the wide end's going to run free. We're going to get a twist stunt here, our jack, and then our defensive end is going to twist. You're going to see a really good trap technique here by number 2, the boundary corner, and number 5, the field corner. Here's your cut to 2 player. All right, cut to 2 player is going to come here late. Okay, you can see, again, really good job here by 2. Cut gets here late, but you can see him, right, shuffling, sight, all right, and it, helps that he's 6'2.5". Field corner, good job, sight, there's 2. Okay, ball's thrown. All right, again, both cut players. Right, 14, the Viper does a really good job. You guys watch his technique there. Watch him shuffle. That's a really, really good job. See him staying square. Let's go back and watch that one more time. I think it's really good video for you guys to see 14 here. This is a drill that we do with the Vipers and the Rovers. Okay, but incomplete pass, okay, quarterback pressure, quarterback hurry, all good stuff. The last pressure clip I'm going to show you is a 5-man pressure, all right? But they try to run mesh, and this is I think the week 3 of the season. We're playing on the road up in Polk County, and it's home for them. They got the hometown everything, and this was a good tone setter for us in the first drive. So we're going to get a 5-man pressure. So you're going to see the jack walk up here. You're going to see the Mike come late. All right. So basically we turn into a bear front. There's our rover. Here's our middle safety. So we're in a 5-1 post snap, and then we're trapping. 5 does a really good job here of sinking, moving, and passing it off, and then finishing on the throw. I can't say enough good things about how these 2 guys played this all game. Late pressure. Now watch. Sink. Come off. Bam. Okay, let's watch again. Both guys. Undercut. Sink. Okay, don't chase. Bam. Because now here, if 5 chases, right, if he stays in this guy's hip pocket, this under is going to come wide open, right? Let's stop right here. If he goes and chases 12, right, he's got an angle. Now look at this. I got a half safety, okay? And now he catches the ball. I mean, he's running for fun. 5 does an excellent job seeing this with his sight, because here comes the new number 2, right? He actually becomes the new number 2. And he does an excellent job of finishing clean, like shoulder, like underneath the chin strap. Wish he would have just, finished it with his hands too. But Awesome job here with his sight. Seeing two, bang. Awesome way to finish. Okay, so really quick, I just want, that's about, 20 minutes a trap, but I think that's a good starting point for a lot of you coaches. I do have a bunch of resources. Obviously, this is going to go up on the Coach Gibbs Defense Lab YouTube channel. So if you guys can do me a favor and just subscribe, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Like it, share it with your coaching colleagues. I also have the Spotify, which I'm going to put podcasts. I've got a podcast coming out tomorrow. I got 8 other guys, 10 guys lined up. So I'll be firing those at least 2 out a week. And then here's everything you need. My Twitter for myself and the defense. The defense is Instagram, the Fast and Physical group on Facebook, and then my Gmail. So I really hope you guys got a little bit out of it. Again, to me, it's a game changer coverage. But honestly, at the end of the day, do what your kids are good at, put them in the best position to be successful, and definitely, play to create havoc.